economy, and he's just rolling into his game, and that looks like an academy being placed as well. And there's that first Wraith. As soon as that shuttle is spotted, it's going to get killed very, very rapidly. Looks like it's coming over that back edge, and the question is springing the trap. Iris actually coming to the wrong position, but it's not going to matter too much. It looks like that Dark Templar is going to be, those Dark Templar are going to be somewhat trapped in. So there's that shuttle. It's going to be taken out, and one comsat should take care of all those Dark Templar. So nothing going right for Best, and it looks like mines actually are going to do the trick. Should be a single comsat and not too long. The Dark Templar trying to wander out, maybe trying to get that factory down, but they're not even going to get it into the red in time. A single mine being planted, so that Dark Templar is just kind of pinned there at the very least. It'll provide a little bit of spotting. Vultures wandering out into the middle of the field. A couple more Dragoons on the front, but honestly, I think Iris is just a little bit more concerned about Best trying to go for a couple quick sneaky expansions. I don't think Best can really do anything to get back in this game except try to sneak something. Yeah, Iris checking that corner up. Let's see if he plants a mine there, mine or two. I think Best should just focus on, yeah, I think that was his one option. Looks like instead he's going to try to sneak Arbiters as quickly as possible. Already planting a Forge, but really Iris is going to be in just such a I don't think Best's macro was so good that he could outdo Iris while down a base at this stage. A couple dropships, yeah, dropship moving out. It's probably got a couple vultures in it. I can't see him not at least getting a couple probe kills. There is going to be, actually no, I take that back, a cannon there in that back line, so that might be able to provide a little bit of defense. But if there's a siege tank in the mix with that shuttle, I'm sorry, that dropship, which is very, very likely, could be damaging. Actually, I take that back. Iris looks like he's going to go for that upper right-hand corner and just drop there with the siege tank, use those vultures to cover, and Best cannot expend the troops to really counter this. So, yeah, it looks like at least a couple Dragoons are going to have to lose their lives to two tanks on the ridge, and at the very least is going to disrupt mining even more, and Iris just pounding away at the secondary now. Beautiful. Looks like he's going to be able to take out that gas as well. Dragoons trying to cycle through, but yeah, the vultures moving their way around, and they have to go through that little funnel, just makes them so weak. Actually, Best going to open this up a little better than I thought, and Iris might have been a little bit wiser to keep a couple vultures in that back position, just cycle them through, and at least that way to kind of drop them at another position, dropping some more vultures up. So the vulture's still going to have that high ground position. Best still losing mining time here. Well, Iris is at 2 bases. Wow. Well, let's see if Iris decides to go up to 3 bases or if he just plops down a couple more factories. Looks like instead he is going to just take another base. He's going to put up there's that comsat to take care of that Dark Templar. Able to get a tank, though. So that's a pretty good little adjustment there. But another base going up, 2 factories going down. And then it's just going to be the pump of the upgrades, and Best is not going to have an opportunity to catch up. The Terran army, when you get that upgrade advantage, especially when you get to that level 2 weapons, it's so devastating. Best going to take a base now, but I think it's too little too late. He'll have that Arbiter, he'll have a couple Dragoons, but I can't see him inflicting enough damage on Iris or even catching up economically or taking out a base of Iris's to get back in this match. What he needs to do is he needs to just press that additional base that's being planted right this second as quickly as possible. He's going to be doing it at a distance with fewer troops. He does have the Arbiter, but honestly I don't think it's going to provide that much support. Should be coming out momentarily. He's got a shuttle as well. He does have a significant amount of Dragoons, but that reinforcement point, this is what I was talking about north to south. This reinforcement point makes it very difficult for any Protoss to push on that 6 o'clock base, or I should say 7 o'clock base. So I'm kind of curious what Best is going to be up to. Maybe he'll be able to pull something off. A very nice stasis can really change the balance of this, so I'm not going to put it completely out of the realm of possibility. And the dropship's going to creep up from the south. There's a shuttle headed that direction now. Iris instinctually moving away. I'm not quite sure what's up with that. Wall hacks. Absolute wall hacks. Weapons 1 already upgraded. Maybe he's waiting for a little bit of time here. Maybe he was just trying to load up some troops, forgot to load up some troops or something like that. But whatever that was, he moved that shuttle, looks like, I'm sorry, that dropship along that bottom right edge, forgot where it was at. Now he's going to move it back around. Already mining, already getting supply depots to just clog that route. He's already probably going to have a couple, well, before Best even makes an attempt at it, he's going to have some turrets down there. 5 factories built, upgrades continually pumping at this stage. And yeah, honestly, it's going to be very, very, very challenging for Best to do anything to maneuver back in this game. That shuttle actually, that dropship might just be providing some spot for for basically kind of like that airborne mobile detection, except without the actual detection. The Vulture's leading, dropship hidden. That's not exactly what I would use that ship for. And that could be also to try to intentionally throw it out there so it's spotted, to try to keep Best back, although he seems to be dodging that observer and its visual range. And now he's going across the visual range. So it could be that this is just a complete feint. Weapons weren't already upgraded. And it's just to make sure that Best doesn't get too aggressive too early before Iris's defenses are ready at the 7 o'clock position. Basically load up some Vultures, let him know the Vultures are there, so he constantly has to keep those Dragoons back at his base rather than just shoving in. He just starts chasing that dropship around them rather than going to another location. 3 bases up for Best. Best starting to move out now. However, he's going up against 5 factories, a lot of tanks, and a good amount of Vultures that already have a lot of mines planted. Best getting an eyeful of that now. One recall maybe over the factory line might be able to help him out, and it looks like EMP actually being upgraded at the science facility, so probably going to see a science vessel before too long, and that EMP and the combination of those upgrades is just devastating, absolutely devastating. Best now taking an additional base, but I feel like it's too little too late. Iris is already going to have an upgrade advantage, a solid upgrade advantage, and I don't think Best is going to be able to hold that expansion for very long. I think it's at the actually I think he's taking it suicidally at the 1 o'clock position. Best now scooting around, I think, for a recall over the back line. Actually, no, it looks like he's gonna pull back. Level 1 armor now kicked in for Iris. The more time he waits, the more he's just going to keep falling behind in this game, and especially when those science, it looks like a couple Goliaths being produced to provide something. Okay, that is at the 1 o'clock position. So he's going to try to mine out the bases. That's a really exposed position, I gotta say. That was not what I was expecting. Observer getting hunted now by that science vessel and that Wraith. Another effective use here. So yeah, that's an extremely exposed position. Best cannot defend that 1 o'clock and defend his main at the same time. Some probes, oh man, they're going to transfer all the way back. A big mistake there by Best. Transferred them a little bit too early. They're mining and now returning minerals halfway across the map, it looks like. At least I think they are. It's hard to tell on the mini-map I have. But now Iris is starting to push out. He's already got 2 science vessels, a lot of tanks. Weapons 2 is probably just about online. I would expect it in about half second. Going to engage before Weapons 2 is upgraded here, but it's still too large an attack force, too few Dragoons, and no Arbiter to support. This is Iris, again, this is kind of Iris. Instead of waiting for Best to try to take over the map and do anything like that, he's going to rush out. Got an EMP off it. I'm not sure if he hit or not. I think he missed, so that Arbiter is going to have some stasis in it. Going to run up and stasis now. Huge stasis. Second Arbiter probably doesn't have enough energy. There's that. Actually, I'm sorry. The second Arbiter getting another stasis off. The shuttle's taken out by the Wraith and the Goliath, and those Arbiters actually a little bit exposed. So Best is actually going to win this fight with 2 nice stasis up in the field, and here Weapons 2 now kicking online. And I got to say, there is a major factors into this match. Oh man, going to run down, and he's going to wipe out the entire attack force here. Huge turn of events here. Let's see if Best can keep pushing it. Iris looking a little bit panicked, and a lot of Dragoons now surrounding a lot of siege tanks, and Iris does not look like he has the troops to really support this. So a lot of huge factors into this. First of all, the missed EMPs. Second of all, Weapons 2 not online just yet, and Best engaging just a fraction of a second before those troops engage. It looks like a comsat going off, and here's the other thing is and Best just microed that perfectly at a kind of a folded position. The Zealots continuing to pour south. Best is not holding up. He's not going to let Iris rebuild these troops, and Iris, I have to say, his macro lacking quite a bit here off 3 bases, not really replenishing his troops all that well, and Best is going to just keep pressing this and pressing this. He might be able to march forward directly into Iris's southern position. Now Iris waking up a little bit, trying to send some Vultures out into the midfield to try to, well, it looks like they're going to get caught mid. I thought they might be able to sneak out to the natural expansion. You can see even how those Vultures are tough, even with the few upgrades they do have. Nice mind drags here, though, by Best to keep him in this game. There's 1 or 2 really good Zealot positions there in that last match. That gas still not taken at the 3 o'clock location, but Best is right back into this after that last attack. Iris moving out a little bit sooner than he should have, really. If he had waited maybe 10-20 seconds, that might have been a completely different match. If he had landed that EMP, that definitely would have been a completely different match. Now Best is going to be able to take over the entirety of the map. Sometimes, though, that doesn't matter. It depends on how Iris micros it from this stage on. He's still going to have that upgrade advantage. He can still play a little little bit of that camper style. He just has to weather the storm, and he has to micro a lot better than he did in that last fight. He has to make sure he lands the MPs, and he also has to make sure he's not catching his army really out of position like he did in that last match. Positioning was huge in that last attack. An Observer catching a very vulnerable command center just being upgraded, and Iris being very heavy-handed with the Vultures and not a lot of tanks to support. And really, when you're going for the large upgrade attack force, you don't need to rely on spider mines as much. Yeah, he's trying to provide, I guess, a more mobile attack force to just try to harass Best, but really